You cannot, under any circumstances, leave my room, okay? Only for 35 days.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with Centaur, your kind of company.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Centaur, your kind of company. The Qatar 2022 World Cup is approaching. Start date November 20. Live the emotion of each match.
This man is absolutely mainline to pure footballing magic.
Each great goal.
Again, the menacing man arrives.
And each play.
Watch this hesitation right there. 3 players inside a telephone box, and he don't care.
Through Centaur. Subscribe now. Centaur, your kind of company.
Ever since I was a kid, I've dreamt of going to Mars. You can keep my dream alive.
Come with me.
Ever since I was a kid, I've dreamt of going to Mars. You can keep my dream alive.
Come with me. You cannot, under any circumstances, leave my room, okay? Only for 35 days.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with Centaur, your kind of company.
Es un hecho que tu crédito dura más con Smart. Durante estos tiempos, todos buscamos cómo minimizar nuestros gastos y ahorrar a lo máximo. Con Smart, lograr esto es fácil. Es un hecho que con Smart su crédito dura más. Puede llamar de Smart a Smart y de Smart a Digital sin discriminar al proveedor, usando su crédito promocional. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo puede usar su crédito promocional para llamar a Digital. ¿Qué significa esto? Su crédito promocional, ya que viene gratis al hacer sus recargas en temporadas de Double Ups, le otorga llamadas gratis a cualquier número nacional. Sigue con Smart y ahorra más dólares.
I met Alex on the plane. When I woke up in the morning, he was so alive.
I think they know you're lying.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with Centaur, your kind of company.
Get her off that stage.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with Centaur, your kind of company.
Tonight we're really late. I don't so much fun since it's forced us on lockdown and like my online classes have been so stressed
Oh my
out.
God.
And I bet you're glad that you finally get out.
Yes, that's true.
And that girl, you may let loose. I never did expect that from you.
Oh, Melanie.
Well defended again by Beverly.
Everyone
He has just
this
been
is a nice
strong
goal.
defensively. George the drive and the finish. Posting up Marcus Morris.
My gosh. Look like Kobe hit on real hard.
My gosh, Melanie.
Now you the top. You see what I mean? The married life. She can even enjoy her friends like in a peace.
Mind your business. Someday you might find a great guy too.
Exactly.
Well, I still kind of have a crush party here, cousin. Oh, no, remember the one where I danced with at the wedding?
Oh, yeah?
Yes! Yeah, well, I would have go pal up down with you any day.
Anyways, when we're gonna cause enough trouble for one night, make her walk on the out.
Alright.
Now I believe I have to get that place at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
I didn't do anything wrong, James!
Hey, morning. Morning. Your friend Melanie bring this for you on the way to work? Take it. Check it. You have to be more appreciative. You got some nice friend. And remember, nothing never happened last night, right? Right?
I love you, Jack. You have to do this for you. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Your future self will thank you.
No. I need help.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, women and girls were at the highest risk of suffering domestic violence. Domestic violence involves violence between any member of the same household. It can happen to females or males, young or old. However, the evidence has shown that women and girls face the greatest risk. That risk has heightened due to the impacts of the pandemic, including job losses, mounting stress, and restrictions to movement and recreation. We can all help to combat violence against women and girls during the COVID-19 pandemic. Just like Melanie did, you can reach out to someone who is struggling and help them to find a way out. It is never easy, but together we can fight this. Belize will not be safe until its women are safe. Secure Belize.
I'm always on the go, and the country
Good evening with your news. Also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Julie Ann Ellis Bradley. She is the mediator that is dealing with the sensitive and long-standing commercial agreement dispute between the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association and BSI ASR. With only days away from December 19th, the date set for the commencement of the 2022-2023 crop season, both parties had their first mediating session on Tuesday, December 6th, and were back at the negotiating table on Wednesday at St. Christopher's in Orange Walk. The 2 days of session, though, from what we are told, brought nothing concrete, and all parties go back to the drawing board tomorrow, Friday. For now, BSAFA and BSI ASR have decided to remain mum about the discussions carried behind closed doors in order not to jeopardize the process. But the media did manage to speak to Bradley today while she was at the Salvation Army and asked her about the negotiations. While she too was unable to go into detail about the discussions due to confidentiality, she did speak on her role as mediator.
I'm not able to provide any comment because mediation is a confidential process, and it would not be appropriate for me as a mediator to discuss what is happening. And if the parties so choose, they will decide what information is provided. And so because of the confidential nature of mediation, I'm not able to discuss that.
Could you address, though, or put into perspective the significance of a mediator in times like these when we're at this crossroad for over a year now?
Well, like I said, I can't address this particular issue, but mediators generally and what mediators do, I am able to say that a mediator is a neutral third party, and that third party actually facilitates a discussion between parties who are in dispute and try to come to a mutually acceptable resolution of the dispute. The mediator is different from a judge or an arbitrator, so the mediator doesn't make a decision.
Keep following the negotiations and bring you the updates as they occur. Police are asking the public to be on the lookout for 19-year-old Corozal resident Gerard Schmidt. Schmidt, a construction worker of Little Belize, was reported missing on Tuesday. He is described as being a Caucasian male, slim-built, standing around 6 feet tall, and having long curly blonde hair. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is urged to report it to police by calling 911, 922, or the nearest police station. Today, 5 schools who have been growing tilapia on site participated in a training at the Carmelita Government School. The training is geared at learning new and existing important practices pertaining to the healthy growth of the fish. Our news team was on site and filed the following report.
Right about now, if you are eating fish, particularly at a restaurant, tilapia is what's for dinner. And while it's no tasty kingfish or sumptuous snapper, the tilapia is still in great demand all over the world. When farmed right, the results can be wonderful. Today, that was the mission when 5 primary schools were today represented at a refresher course of how to correctly implement accurate tilapia growing rules at schools in Orange Walk. Under the supervision of the Ministry of Education, Neri Ball disseminated important information on how to farm tilapia correctly.
Many people believe that growing fish is just dumping fish inside the water. That's not true. Growing fish is just like if you're growing pigs, if you're growing cows, if you're growing chicken. You need to have a good control of your feeding regime, you need to have good control of your water quality, and you need to know how good or how bad your fish are doing. So this was why we focused in these schools, because they were lack of knowledge as to what they're going to do, because for the past 2-3 months they had problems in terms of feed availability. So they were trying to find a way or find a solution as how or what should we do. So this training that we are conducting is not only focused on the feeding part, but also it focuses on the selections of site. It entails the monitoring of your fish, which means sampling and also water quality testing to see if the pH is adequate, if the oxygen level in your pond is adequate for the easy growth of fish in your cement tanks.
In terms of this one, I see different sizes of fish in there. Explain to us why that happened.
Okay, in terms of the sizing, as normal in every population, there are some people or there are some animals that are much more greedier than others. So that's why, in terms of the sizing, that's why we recommend whenever we are doing stocking of fingerlings or we are providing fingerlings to farmers, we try to do a uniform size. So by the time they're ready to be harvested, it's going to be a uniform size. It's not going to be small, medium, large, tiny. No, we try to do our best possible, but it also has the actual caretaker has the responsibility of knowing how to feed, when to feed, how much to feed.
Miguel Huertas from the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise said the schools will always get assistance from the Ministries of Education and Agriculture to excel for the betterment of students.
For Orange Walk District, I have been working for the past years on all schools, being school gardens, being tilapia ponds. Once it's related to kids, primary schools and some of the high schools, I have been working with them. We have had previous sessions on many topics, being growing of vegetables and also on tilapia. Last 3 years, we have had the same guys, Mr. Neribol, Mr. Sosa, and the other colleague being here with us having this, training similar to what you're having now. But we have seen the need for the school on some of the management on the ponds, and we have coordinated. I'm not a specialist or a technician on tilapia, but since my area is growing some vegetables and my specialty is bees, so we have a technician in the ministry, which are the aquaculture unit. So we contact them since the same department, and we bring them to do the technical training for us here in Orange Walk. So we have a one-day training, which we invited principal, we invited students, we invited farmers, and we invited parents to come along and join the training.
But in a changing world where prices for products increase constantly, especially when on demand, fish feed can become very expensive. However, today participants learned that there are alternatives to fish feed, some which can be found right in all backyards.
When it comes, let's say, for example, you're short of commercial feed, there are alternatives to it, which is the moringa leaves, like I could show you. This school is blessed because they have a moringa tree here. So this could be fed to your tilapias. Also, you could use rice bran. But in terms of feeding, you need to know how to do it. It's not me just showing this leaf and go ahead, fish, eat. No. You have to be very careful on the amount, on the method of how to use. In terms of the rice bran, like I was mentioning to the teachers during the training, you need to ensure that the rice brans are formed in balls, small balls, and then you create like a feeder tray, and you introduce that feeder tray inside your pond like a foot inside the water, and then you release the balls of rice bran, and based on that you are going to monitor if the fishes are accepting that. Just bear in mind that in one day that cannot happen. It might take a couple days, 2-3 days, until they get used to it.
There is great news, however. Well, at least for the Carmelita Government School. Their tilapia fishes will be ready for harvesting in late January 2023. For participants, the growing process was especially since assistance was provided.
Since I ran low for tilapia feed, we were all about looking for what could substitute, and this morning I found out exactly what I can use to substitute. For example, I found out that my moringa tree right beside the pond can be used, and also my cassavas at the back, the leaf, I can also use it. So I think I'm set for this morning. We don't have tilapia ponds, we have aquaponics, which simply means that we're using our ponds to feed our beds and the vegetables, and they take the nutrients from the fish and fresh water goes back into the pond.
Who all is involved in maintaining the aquapond?
Well, we have the students themselves. We do daily supervision and some feeding. We also have teachers that would be the movements, or, you know, like the breeders are not working, and we also have PTA and the security guard at night that would feed and also monitor the pond. So we have a holistic attack to the pond and dealing with the pond.
When are you ready for harvesting?
Well, harvesting would be done maybe in late January, February. And what you see here is product from the kids, and the kids would harvest it. They would clean it and deposit it at the kitchen, and we have a free feeding program. And this set of fish would last us all the way to June. The way we don't take all at once, we go picking.
Elmer Cornejo, CTV3 News.
Coming up next, the U.S. fugitive wanted for felony kidnapping and accessory to a felony found in Belize. Stay tuned.
Shell is giving away over $20,000 in prizes this Christmas. One lucky customer will win $6,500 in fuel. Plus, over 40 customers will win either $150 in fuel vouchers or $500 in cash. To enter, spend $40 Belize or more in fuel. Complete the entry form and drop it in the boxes provided. Fuel up with Shell this Christmas for your chance to win. Promotion runs from November 21 to December 31, 2022. Terms and conditions apply. Visit solpetroleum.com/winbig with Shell for more details. Shell trademarks are used by Sol Brands Incorporated under license from Shell Brands International AG.
LG dual inverter compressor cools air faster by operating at speeds as high as 120 Hz with more stability compared to conventional models. It also saves up to 70% more energy by operating at speeds as low as 10 Hz with more stability. It reduces torque vibration down to 40% for quiet outdoor unit operation. Stable operation with low vibrations also results in increased durability.
A 47-year-old man sought for an Omaha woman's disappearance was arrested in Belize on Tuesday morning and on his way back to the U.S. tonight. According to reports, Aldrich Scott was apprehended in Key Cocker and will have an extradition hearing later this week. Scott, a native of Topeka, Kansas, escaped Belize a few days ago after a criminal complaint saw him being charged with felony kidnapping and accessory to a felony. He is wanted by U.S. authorities in connection with the November 28, 2022 disappearance of his ex-girlfriend, 43-year-old Nebraska resident Carrie Allen, who remains missing tonight. Scott was in hiding and passing for a regular tourist in Key Cocker until Charlton Fuentes, who owns Google Grills, a barbecue restaurant on the island of Key Cocker, where Scott worked, found out who he is and turned him in. Here is what Fuentes told the 6 News WOWT.
Only on 6 News, we spoke with a man in Belize who claims that he's the one who turned Scott into authorities.
Our Taylor Johnson shows us with how the two crossed paths.
This man, Shelton Fuentes, tells me he owns Google Grills, a barbecue restaurant in Key Conquer, which is a small island off the coast of Belize. He says that Aldrich Scott was working for him, and he even let him live at his home. Now, if you look over this way, he says that he took this photo of Scott while they were together, and over there you can see this is the official booking photo that was taken at the local jail.
And while I was socializing with him through the street, he was at my home like for 4 days. From the 4 days now, I feed him, I clothe him.
He tells me Scott told him his first name was Nelson, so he checked Scott's information online and found that he was wanted in connection with Carrie Allen's disappearance. From there, he says he reported him to police and the U.S. Embassy.
I play a role with the feds here in Belize. So the role that I play, I told the people what was taking place with him.
Fuentes told me he turned Scott in because he wanted to protect and serve, and he says he feels entitled to a reward. On your side, Taylor Johnson, 6 News.
U.S. foreign officials identified Scott. He was last seen on November 20, 2022, before one of Scott's neighbors made a 911 call claiming that he had killed Carrie Allen. On Wednesday night, Prime Minister John Briceño arrived in the Dominican Republic for the 16th Ordinary Meeting of Heads of State and Government of the Central America Integration System, CICA. The event will be held in Santiago de los Caballeros, Dominican Republic, on December 8th and 9th, 2022. The event will be held in Santiago de los Caballeros. PM Briceño was welcomed by the Director of State, Ceremonial and Protocol of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Francisco Cantizano Nazal, and the Ambassador of Belize, Eduardo Lama, Diario Libre reports. President of the Dominican Republic, Luis Abinader, will host an official dinner for the heads of state and government and those of the CICA delegation. The CICA summit convenes leaders and ministers of foreign affairs of the 8 member countries of CICA to discuss regional issues. Fireworks and firecrackers are a fun and festive way to celebrate the Christmas festivities and welcome the new year. But they also can be dangerous and incite costly damage to structures and equipment. But an educational campaign here in Belize has reduced incidences, says Fire Chief Kenneth Morris.
The things that goes pop and boom, it brings a vision of ahs and oohs and wow, but at the same time, if not launched or operated by the professionals or in an open manner, it does have severe setback in terms of residential or structural damages, which is something that the fire department has been battling with for some years now. Me myself, I like them very much, but let's look at the probability for a negative effect. When these firecrackers or pop shot palomitas, whatever you want to call them, when they give that explosive bang, it sends trail of embers, which is a beautiful sight to the eye. But if it lands in the wrong direction, you have the risk of creating damage to yourselves, to your structure, like you rightfully mentioned, in the power line. So what we try to do from the fire department standpoint, we're all about fire and fire safety. The best that we can do, or the best that we have been doing over the past couple of years, is trying to educate people about the safety of these wonders around this time of the year, which has become prevalent and a more common practice. However, on a positive note, I must say that our fire safety campaign that was launched in full effect just around 3 to 4 years ago, the message seemed to have sunk in with the residents and neighboring communities, because statistics have shown that fires caused by these palomitas, pop shots, have reduced tremendously over the years. We went from a 20% probable cause of fires by these dynamite to a mere 8%. So, like I said, kudos to the residents for adhering to the fire safety message that we have been spreading throughout the years, and kudos to my fire safety team as well, who approach the residents diligently, whether it's on a face-to-face basis, and we try to relay the matter of safety to them. And of course, if you can recall, every break I get, or my chief that does an interview, we always try to emphasize the importance of safety. So our fire safety campaign is working. That doesn't mean that we have taken a step back. This isn't something that we see success today and we leave it as it is tomorrow. We need that continuous reminder about the dangers of these fireworks.
Of note is that you should never relight malfunctioning fireworks. Soak the firework in water and then throw it away. The United States' new ambassador of Belize, Her Excellency Michelle Kwan, made her first public engagement on Wednesday and gave the media her first impressions of Belize. Kwan is speaking to the press following a candlelight vigil in Bamopan in commemoration of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, said that she arrived in Belize on December 2nd, and though she has only been in the country a short time, she has experienced a lot and is looking forward to experiencing more of Belize.
These are your first days in Belize. What's it been like?
It has been unbelievable, as people say, unbelievable. Tonight's event was a somber moment, but really commemorating and kicking off 16 days of fighting against gender-based violence, and this candlelit vigil with survivors and advocates, as well as the diplomatic community and the press, really talking about the importance of fighting against gender-based violence. But the Belizeans have been so warm and so nice and just a beautiful country. It's only not even 5 days yet, and I feel right at home. You're going to strengthen the bond between the United States and Belize to strengthen our cooperation, our mutual interest, and our friendship between our two countries. Of course, we have shared common values, democratic values of economic prosperity. We have shared values all across the, especially tonight, with human rights, fighting against gender-based violence. So there's much to do, and I'm looking forward to working with Belizeans. My meeting with the foreign minister, Courtney, was incredible. We were talking about the importance of our bilateral relations and how I, as now newly minted U.S. ambassador to Belize. There hasn't been a U.S. ambassador for some time now, but I'm so proud to represent and be the President Biden's representative here in this country. And I stress the importance of our relationship and to strengthen and our bilateral relations and cooperation across the board.
We do have to ask, are you excited to spend your first Belizean Christmas, or will you be running back to the U.S.?
Oh, I am going to be here for Christmas with my family. I have a beautiful Christmas tree at the residence, and I'm super excited to be here.
Kwan also said that she intends to spend Christmas in Belize. Kwan was officially appointed as ambassador on October 7th. She succeeds Ambassador His Excellency Carlos Moreno, who returned to the U.S. in January 2017. In Moreno's absence, the work of the embassy continued under Charge d'Affaires Keith Gills, who took over in 2018, and Charge d'Affaires Leila Moses Wans, who succeeded Gills in 2021. And today, Kwan had an official meeting with Acting Prime Minister Cordell Hyde as she continues to lay the groundwork for her new role. During the meeting, Ambassador Kwan extended her sympathies to Belizeans whose communities were affected by Hurricane Lisa, and praised Hyde of the ongoing U.S. assistance to local humanitarian and recovery efforts. The two leaders affirmed both countries' commitment to expand the U.S.-Belize bilateral partnership and promote innovation to strengthen democracy, security, and sustainable economic prosperity for Belize and the region. An official statement from the United States Embassy noted, Kwan also told the media that she has met with Foreign Affairs Minister Eamon Courtney since her arrival in Belize last week, and her discussions with him focus on the importance of the bilateral partnership between Belize and the U.S. Prime Minister John Briseno was not present for the meeting because, as we told you, he left Belize on December 5th to attend the 8th Summit of Heads of State and Government of the Caribbean Community and the Republic of Cuba, scheduled to take place in Bridgetown, Barbados, on the 6th of December 2022. The Prime Minister will then attend the 16th Ordinary Meeting of Heads of State and Government of the Central American Integration System, SICA, in Santiago de los Caballeros, Dominican Republic, on the 8th and 9th of December 2022. He is scheduled to return to Belize on December 10th. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Friday, December 8th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at ctv3newsbz. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.